Hi guys and gals, today we're gonna talk about external and internal rotation of the shoulder joint. I'm gonna give you two exercises for each of those movements. One of them is gonna be done either by a cable or a resistance band. The other one is gonna be done with a dumbbell. Now, first I'm gonna do the exercise and then I'm gonna go through the details. So this is external rotation and this is internal rotation. Now, these two movements are not done for a strength or hypertrophy or making the muscle bigger. These are mainly performed for warming up or just recovering from an injury. Because the reason that this exercise is really good or these exercises are really good is that it really creates that synovial fluid that you need inside the joint, so it's going to warm the joint up. Whenever I want to do any back workout, any chest workout, any arm workout, or anything that involves the movement of the arm, more specifically movement of the shoulder joint, I do these exercises. It really helps me to create that mind-muscle connection as well. But there are a few notes that you should consider. First of all, we're gonna give you the examples with the cable or a resistance band. Then whatever we say is gonna be the same with the dumbbell as well. So the first mistake is people raise the elbow. So they bring the elbow out, and of course you're gonna feel it in this area, but it's not pure external rotation. The target of the external rotation is the rotator cuff muscle. So mainly the infraspinatus and the teres minor, which are two main rotator cuff muscles, are going to be involved when you do external rotation. And when you raise the elbow or you abduct the shoulder, you're using a lot of other muscles like the deltoids and even the traps, and they're going to minimize the involvement of the rotator cuffs. So they're not going to be that much involved, although the rear delt is involved in external rotation as well, even if you do it correctly. But we do not want to warm them. We mainly want to work on the rotator cuff muscles because those other muscles are going to be trained with a lot of other exercises that we do. So the other mistake that I see a lot of people make is the opposite. They try to stick the elbow too much in, and it's just gonna limit the range of motion. You do not need to bring it too much inside as well. All you need to do is just keep it neutralized and do not let it come up. So as you can see, there is still a little bit of a space between my elbow and my torso, so I'm not all the way in. All you're doing is just flexing from the other side, and it's not necessary. So do not bring it up, do not try to force it inside either. The other mistake that I see is people have the band too much down. So they bring it down and they do this, and you can see that the range of motion is limited. Now it's going to be the same for when you bring it up as well. When you bring it too much up, again, it's not going to be that much external rotation and the range of motion is going to be less. We don't want to just contract the rotator cuffs. We want to move the humerus, the upper arm bone inside the joint as well. So the target is not just contraction of the muscles, it's creating that synovial fluid as well to warm the joint up, so we have better flexibility during the exercise. So 90-degree is the best place for your arm, whether you're doing it with a band or a dumbbell, which I'm gonna tell you how to do. So bring it to a level that you can do 90-degree. The other mistake is by going too fast. When you go too fast, you're gonna use the bigger muscles, the stronger muscles. It doesn't matter, it happens to every exercise. So when you're doing the exercise fast and explosive, the weaker muscles are not going to be involved that much, but when you take your time, it's gonna be good. Also make sure you do not go too much slow either. Again, the reason we're doing this exercise is the involvement of the rotator cuffs, but at the same time warming up the joint. So we don't want to train the muscles. Just a normal speed is gonna be alright. So just make sure the tempo is not that much fast, not too much slow. When you're too slow, you're just gonna fatigue yourself. We don't want to fatigue ourselves. You don't need to feel a lot of tension inside the muscle. It shouldn't be hard. You're just warming up. So, and it's gonna be the same thing for internal rotation as well. So do not bring the elbow up, do not force it in, do not go in fast, also not too much up, not too much down. It's gonna be the same for the dumbbell as well. Now to do the dumbbell version, all you need to do is lay on the ground or on a bench. Just make sure you're parallel to the ground and you're gonna grab the dumbbell and up and down. So when you're parallel to the ground, you're gonna feel the rotator cuffs getting activated. Although the higher you go, the less you're gonna feel it in here. But again, we're not trying to target the muscle or anything. We're just trying to warm it up. Even if you do it with a dumbbell, still you're gonna feel it to, I can say 70 degrees. So if this is 0, you're gonna still feel it to here, and there is no need to go all the way to 90 degrees. So it's gonna be alright, don't worry about it. And for doing the internal rotation with the dumbbell, all you need to do is, again, be parallel to the ground. Try to face a little bit up so you can lay on the ground, and instead of looking forward, look up and do the exercise. Again, the range of motion is going to be a little bit limited, but still the same reason that we talked about with the external rotation. You do not need to do the full range of motion and fatigue the muscle. Now when it comes to external and internal rotation, the majority of people need to do external rotation more. The reason is majority of people have a bad posture. So because they are curved on their upper back, when they want to do external rotation, they are a little bit limited. So the range of motion is going to be a little bit less because of that hyperkyphotic posture. So because of that, the more you work on these muscles, they're going to help you to extend the thoracic spine or the chest more, so the posture is going to be improved. Now, of course, you've got to do a lot of other things as well, but this is a good start. It's going to at least get you in a better posture for the exercises that you're going to do. That does not mean that doing internal rotation is going to worsen your posture, because the muscles that are involved in internal rotation are mainly your subscapularis, your chest, and a little bit your lats as well. And there are other muscles involved in the internal rotation as well. But the activation of the muscle is not gonna be really hard. So they're not gonna be contracted and get tight afterwards that much. So the benefits of the synovial fluid production in the joint is going to be a lot higher than the activation and tightness that you can get from these exercises. Because as mentioned, this is really not challenging. It's just trying to trigger those deep muscles. And if you understand the speed and tempo that you should have while also keeping a good posture, it's not going to activate your chest or your lats to that extent. It's going to be working more with the deep muscles that we talked about, and we're not going to do a lot of sets and reps as well. Just doing 3 sets, 4 sets of 10 repetitions is going to be enough, so you do not need to fatigue yourself.